Yo, Bo, welcome to another episode of In the Life of MightyFan. Got some pickups. We'll do a little chit chat because, this is what we do. Oh, look who lost some hair. Both here and here, right? I did get a haircut yesterday and trimmed off a lot of the mountain man look. So now I have just the goatee going. And I'm not going to stay up here very long because it's starting to get hot again. This week is going to be kind of hot. And as we know, heat rises. So I'm on the second floor of the house. So I'm going to make this quick up here. And the first two of these jerseys you would have seen if you saw my buddy Slim's last video, which yours truly appeared in. Shout out again to Slim. Had a great time at his place last week. And we did some filming there because he had some stuff to show. I had some stuff to show. So he asked me to bring some stuff. So, we got that done. We collabed in that video. So at any rate, you already saw these, but you didn't see these on my channel yet. And I'm just going to do baseball here. So first we're going to do, shout out to my buddy J-Dub. Great deal on this jersey. This is a custom done. This was a Bill Buckner that he had custom done into a, not Barry, but his father, Bobby Bonds, 1981 Cubs right here. Beautiful jersey. Always like this Cubs jersey, but that's my all-time favorite Cubby logo. So got the pinstripes there, number 25 on the front, Chicago. Bobby Bonds, Barry's dad. There it is, number 25, Bonds 25. So people who don't know will probably see this as, Barry never played for the Cubs. No, he didn't, but his dad did. This is his dad's jersey. So, of course, Barry was a Pirate and a Giant his whole career, but his father did play for the Cubbies. So there's Bobby Bonds' Cubs jersey, beautifully done, beautifully customed from a Bill Buckner to a Bobby Bonds. So shout out to the Black Band Bandit, who I got this from. J-Dub, beautiful jersey, amazing deal in it too. And then Mitchell and Ness, what was it? Last week ran a deal, a 40% off deal, both online and at the flagship. And I'm happy that the flagship did too, because this jersey, which I really wanted, was no longer in my size on the site. So I was able to grab it from the flagship there. So shout out to the fellas, as always, at the Mitchell and Ness flagship here in Philly. And I hit my head on there as I usually do. But we have the 1977 home white Rod Carew Minnesota Twins. And I have the old version, blue, the road version they did many years ago in the Peter Capolino days. But they finally got around to making a home white version. Beautiful jersey. You got the Twins patch on the sleeve. You got Twins 29 on the front. Huge Carew name on the back, 29. Beautiful jersey. And I'm glad that they got around to doing the home version. Because like I said, I've had the road version for many years. They did the road version many years ago. I've had that for quite a long time. And of course the home and away for Kirby Puckett as well. So it's nice to have the home version for Mr. Carew. All the particulars there. You got the jock tag. Rod Carew 77 there. Mitchell and Ness. Newer run jersey, but very nice job. I think they really did a good job with this one. So there you go. Shout out to Jake, of course. Anything Minnesota sports. Up next, team near and dear to my own heart, the Philadelphia Phillies. These were online pickups. I was able to do the paying for to help myself to get them. Also with the 40% off, it certainly helps. These jerseys got very hated on in our Jersey head community. And I get it. Sometimes, Mitchell and Ness are going to do things and there's instant reaction. A lot of the jerseys, in fact, probably all the jerseys that they show online are like smaller size jerseys. So the numbers are always going to look kind of funky on them. But these definitely, they have big numbers and letters. But as, the research that I did on these jerseys, in fact, I want to give my buddy Slim another shout out. He sent me through Messenger a video highlight, I guess, of the back from 1990 when the Phillies were in Dodger Stadium and they had like a big comeback against the Dodgers and they won that game in a big comeback fashion, and they were wearing these jerseys, and you can see the numbers, the letters, the numbers rather on these jerseys were huge. They were big. Like if you just Google search, if you look at road Phillies footage from 1989 to 1991, and you look at the back of the jersey and the front of the jerseys, the numbers are big. They were just big back then. Now, did Mitchell and Ness get these perfectly done? I'm not going to argue, maybe not, right? Some people are going to say, yeah, but if you look at the inch into the stitch, okay. These aren't Rawlings jerseys, okay? And the only way for me to get this jersey is if someone makes this, because I can't. Big boy like me isn't going to fit into a Rawlings jersey from back in those days. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't. I couldn't. It's not going to work. So I need someone to recreate these, right? But so I don't. Me personally, I don't think they're horrendous as some people think they are, because when I looked at the jerseys from that time period, they had big numbers. I mean, they were big. You can see them from like an airplane. It was like, if you go back and look at footage, like that game in 90, where Kruk actually wore number 19 back then in honor of his good buddy and former teammate when he was with the Padres, Tony Gwynn, that 19 is so big on the back of his jersey. And at this time, these jerseys are circa 1989. So this would have been the Krucker's first year with the Phillies. And he wore number 11, which was his number from San Diego. And then he wore 19 in honor of Tony Gwynn. And then he went to the more familiar number 29 for the rest of his career with the Phillies. But this is the jersey representing his first season with the Phillies, I believe, or at least his first number with the Phillies, number 11. And it's the road gray. And I like it. I like these jerseys. I've always liked this style. I kind of wish the Phillies would wear this as like a throwback jersey, for a road game, or all right, a home game might be a little much, even though they wear the powder blues as home. But I love the Phillies, the Fat P logo from this era, because it has the baseball seam inside of it. And number 11, it is the Krucker right there. And yeah, it's a big number. It's a big, 11 on the back, but they were big back then. I mean, if you do Google image searches, you'll know. Now, were they this big? All right, maybe we can split hairs on that, but they were big numbers back then that the Phillies wore on these jerseys. And you have my favorite Phillies logo, Independence Hall, right there on the side. Again, for what it is, I'm happy with it. I mean, look, they got my money for it, and if I'm going to buy something and wear it, I'm going to be happy with it. That's just how it is for me. 89. I'm sorry, 89 John Kruk. So there's John Kruk, 89 Road Phillies. And also, because why have one when you can have two, I went with Dutch. In this one, I went with Dutch Dalton, number 10. Again, same deal. Road gray Phillies, racing stripes going down to maroon racing stripes, Dalton 10 on the back. Big and bold. I mean, yeah, you're going to see this number, big and bold. Philly, the Mitchell Ness jock and all the particulars, 1989. Darren Dalton, rest in peace, of course, to Dutch. And there's his 89 road jersey. There they are. Yes, I got them. I had to. I'm a Phillies fan. I'm a Phillies jersey collector. Finding road gray jerseys from 89 to 91 would be very hard for me if a company didn't make them. And I'm not going to buy just to, contrary to popular belief, I'm not going to buy just to display. I want to wear my stuff, So those old vintage jerseys are beautiful, but they didn't make them for big guys, back then. Even though some of the players were kind of big. But I always hit my head on this. It never fails. So we're going to go downstairs where it's a bit cooler. See, I thought it was safe to turn the AC off, and then we have another, hot week, of course. It usually happens. Towards the end of August into September, we can still have some kind of hot weeks. In fact, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to bring my towel down because I feel myself getting a little wet. I was only up there for a few minutes, and already the waterworks starts. But the good thing is I have shorter hair now, so it's easier to maintain the sweat. But yes, I always have the handy dandy towel. For those of you who know me in this channel, MightyFan and the towel. So those were the pickups. Like I said, shout out to Mitchell and Ness for doing the 40% off deal. Help me get some stuff. And we're going to talk a little more about deals and such. It's one of the things I've kind of noticed being out and about over the last few weeks. And I'd like to, discuss that as well as part of my little chit chat here. But I also have some hats to share. It's been a while since I've shown some hats. So I'm going to set this up as best I can. And we're going to look at some hats. So don't mind me here just for a bit. Just going to make sure this is all good here. I believe, actually, I'm sorry. I have to move something. So this light. So bear with me. I did forget one little thing here. I actually use my charger, my phone charger, here to prop this up. So, and yes, I have an Eagles phone charger, I know. I'm a crazy fan. What can I say? But I actually use the charger part of it to prop this up when I use my Eagles phone stand to do my vids here. Let's see. I want to make sure I get this right. We're live. Let's see. Which one do I normally... Okay. I think I usually go with the... I like to prop it up just a bit so that light isn't as bad. Yeah, that's a little better. I might be a little sideways, but I'm normally sideways anyhow, so that doesn't matter. Yeah, see, so that light isn't shining right on you. See, I think of my viewers. And by the way, speaking of my viewers, thank you all as always, for the subs. We're still trying to get to 2K by the end of this year, by the end of 2024, New Year's Eve 2024. If I can get to 2K subscribers, you are incredible. I'm still at 1,600 and change or whatever. But I'm the goal, we're trying to get to 2K here on MightyFan's channel on YouTube by the end of the year. So if we can keep hitting that subscribe button, that would be much appreciated by yours truly. So I thank you all in advance. At any rate, I'm going to continue to towel down. Again, I'm so glad that I have short hair now, because with the longer hair, it definitely would stay a little longer. But the sweat, I'm going to get a couple drinks of this pink lemonade. Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, sometimes I'll get these water bottles, and after I finish it, I reuse it, because I have the powdered lemonades and stuff, and it just, serves a purpose. So that's Country Time, I believe Country Time. Pink lemonade, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. That's filler. That's what we call filler in the business. So anyhow, let's get to the hat pickups. And these are the last, how many weeks, couple months, maybe whatever worth of hats. This first one here was actually part of my birthday gift. My birthday, by the way, was this past Wednesday. I'm 46 now. And it feels like 45. It doesn't really change. But it was a quiet birthday. I was at work. I know how to live it up, don't I? Then I did some food shopping later. So anyhow, I was visiting my dad yesterday, and this was one of my gifts from him. This is a hat, vintage 1978 limited edition. So that's my birth year, of course, and the birth year of Halloween's Michael Myers and the Philly Fanatic. So I have good company there. 1978, good year there. And so that was for my dad. Shout out to my dad. These next ones were ones that I picked up over the past however many weeks, month, whatever. Over a month, couple months. This is one of the latest sideline hats for the NFL for my Eagles, of course. The throwback full bird right there. Which, yes, I'm very happy they're going to wear the Kelly Greens again this year for 2 games. And part of the reason I'm glad that teams are wearing the throwback jerseys is we get more throwback gear every season, right? So there's the throwback. It's snap. The one thing I was a little miffed at, so I went to the, I had a week off last week. I went over to the link, week before last rather. I went to the link as part of it to the pro shop, because I wanted to find the throwback on-field hats. They didn't have them. This was at Lids. And then afterwards, when I was out and about, I found the FlexFit version. It's the same hat, only with the FlexFit. I'm like, I got this one. It's the same. I love FlexFit hats. the 3930s, but it's the same hat. I can't really see myself getting two of the same exact thing, right? Even though I really like it. I mean, it's good to know they're out there, but yeah, I already had this one, so it is what it is. So I got the snap version in this, which I think it's a pretty cool hat. I like the fact that it has the football there and the logo in it. I think it's cool. I think they did a pretty good job with their sideline, hats this year. Both this and the regular one that they debuted a bit back. And here we have the latest hat. This was actually picked up yesterday at Pro Image. They did a Phillies version of this a few years ago, and now they did the Eagles version, which is the Vet Stadium themed hat. So it kind of has like a stadium colorway kind of look to it, and you got the old, of course, the old logo right there, the full bird. The colors behind it, like the drop shadow colors behind it, represent the seat colors at Vet Stadium. Again, they did very similar thing with the Phillies years ago. You also have what I thought was really cool. You got the Vet Stadium pin, which I can put on, obviously on this hat. I could also move it to the Phillies version, when I wear that one. So, you kind of know that it is the hook to the vet. And you also have the Eagles, a little side logo right there. NFL shield. A little good green, little vintage look to it. Black gut, yes. I think they really did a great job. I love this hat. I love the ode to the vet, and I love that pin. That is awesome. I never had a Vet Stadium pin, so to have one is very cool. So good job by Pro Image. I'll move that over here. And this was the Fanatic hat that I went for, I think, when I did my last video here on YouTube, the vehicle vlog. And here it is. Really, really nice job. Different Fanatic hat. The swinging Fanatic right there with his Schmitty or Harper swing, whatever you want to call it, right there. And you have the Fanatic, the Scissors Bank Park different patch for a side patch right there with the Fanatic. I thought that was pretty cool, different, unique. Red squatchy, gray gut with the gray under with the white gut, but just a very well done hat overall. Definitely Fanatic vibes all over with this hat, and I like that patch. It's the only time we've seen this patch to this point as a side patch done for a hat. I'm sure you'll probably see it again. That's usually how these things go, but that was the first. I don't remember if I showed this one or not. This was the one I got a few weeks ago. Maybe about 3-4 weeks ago. This was the Pro Image version. This was the first time they put out a Scissors Bank Park logo on the side of a hat for the side patch. And this one came out, like I said, maybe about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks. It just somewhere in that range. Good green under with the white gut again. But you got the Phillies logo with the 2 stars. And there's Scissors Bank Park celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. I know there was a goodness, what was the, I'm blanking on the company that made a really nice Phillies hat with the 20th anniversary of Scissors Bank Park patch on the side, and I didn't get it. But it was really nice. I don't think it was Crown Minded. It wasn't Crown Minded. I'm blanking on that. There's so many damn hat companies. I know it wasn't Topper's USA store. It wasn't Crown Minded. I don't think it was My Fitteds. I forgot. One of those companies though did a really nice one. I mean, really, really nice. And I was so tempted. I don't know how I didn't pull the trigger on it. I think it was a pre-order. I did. It's the only hat I've seen with the 20th anniversary logo for Scissors Bank Park. But it is what it is. Maybe it's still available for pre-order. This was like weeks ago, around the time when I got that hat, so I would imagine it's probably gone by now, but it is what it is. Lids actually did a in-store set of Fanatic hats, and there's still one more I want to get. But I got this one a little bit back with the waving Fanatic. Hello. So there he is, and there's the World Series champions side patch from '08. Batterman on the back. It's got the good gray, black gut. All these have the same good gray and black gut on the inside, I believe. And they did a set of like 5 different hats, different colorways. The other one I want is the two-tone. It's got the blue crown and the red brim, kind of like their alternate day game hat. Although it has the Fanatic on the front, and the side patch for that one is the 96 All-Star Game. And I still want that one. So at some point I'll probably get it. They're still pretty stocked in for those. And I think they did another, like a 5-piece set of those. This is another one I can't remember if I showed or not. It's been a little while since I've shown some hats. So this is Lehigh Valley. So they're doing a City Connect as well, and their Connect is Bethlehem. So this is the hat, the on-field fitted for the Bethlehem, the City Connect games they do. There's a nice jersey for it too, which is no longer available on MILB's site or the Iron Pig site. So I don't know if it's at the store or at the ball game. I'm actually going to an Iron Pigs game this coming Friday with my buddy Mark M. So I don't know if they're going to have it or not. I don't even know if I'll buy it if it's there, but, we'll see. But this is the on-field fitted for the Bethlehem games that they do. Of course, the Bethlehem, PA, in Lehigh Valley, which is why they're owing that to their City Connect this year. For their City Connect, I should say. Very nice look. I like the jersey. The minor leagues do such an amazing job with their theme nights, their jerseys, and hat combo wombos, right? The Iron Pigs did a Mummers Night as their Philly, centric game. Very nice. I have the jersey. I have the hat. As you saw, I think I showed the hat before. The on-field fitted. And they do various different theme nights all throughout the year. And I think they're doing a Peeps one too, I believe, unless they already did it, which is pretty cool. The jersey looks really nice too. All sorts of stuff. Like minor leagues is fun, and that's what it should be. It kind of introduces kids to baseball and in some ways and stuff, and tickets are cheaper, and you can just go to games. It's a fun time. I always enjoy going to the Iron Pigs game. It's been a while since I've been to a Reading Fightins game, but hopefully maybe next season can make that happen. My buddy Mark M and I, we try to go to at least one Iron Pigs game a year, and hopefully weather looks all right for Friday, so I think we'll be okay to get to that game. And also at these were from the Mitchell and Ness, the corporate shop, like their clearance basically store that they have by appointment only. But they had these. They didn't have a lot. Like they were kind of still going. They were still. When you go there, there's 2 rooms on. It's in like the basement of the building, but there's 2 rooms on either. There's a hallway, and then you got 2 rooms on either side, on either. Down either side of the corridor there, and the one room wasn't open, so it was only one room, and they didn't have a lot of bigger size jerseys. The only jerseys they had pretty much only went up to XL, and I need a 2X, so they didn't have a lot. But in the hat, they have this within the room, they have like little smaller rooms as well, and one of the rooms is basically just for hats. So they had these hats on sale, and they're all in HL. I think they were all like $10 each. So I grabbed them, got the Shark Tooth Vancouver Canucks with the Stick and Rink logo, which I still want to get a jersey of. So that's part of the reason why I grabbed the hat. And I just like the look of the hat and the logo. So I didn't have a Stick and Rink logo for the Canucks hat as of yet. But there it is. Snapback. Shark Tooth design, and we also got, there you go, Throwback King, there's your Hartford Whalers. So you got the Hartford hat. I do want to get a Whalers jersey from this era, from like the 90s. So this is the colorway and the logo, really from that kind of era. You think of like Shanahan and them. And so, someday, hopefully I'll get a Hartford Whalers jersey from that time period, which was the look that they had, the logo, like the uniforms they had just like prior to them leaving. But the old colors are cool too. And I would like to get one of those jerseys at some point too, but, When I think of the Whalers, I mean, I think of more of those colorways because I remember those. The more darker blue and green. And then we have the Winnipeg Jets in that kind of paintbrush splash type deal. All black hat right there. I just really like the look of this. And the Jets, I believe, still wear an alternate jersey with that logo on the front. So if that ever happens, this hat could go with that. Or maybe if I get a vintage Jets with that logo on the front, that this hat would go with it too. You know, sometimes you have to prepare for the combo wombo, even if you don't have the complete combo wombo completed. At least you have the hat or just the jersey, and then you just have to get the hat, right? So there's that. So those are the hats. Those are, you know, a little variety there. You got some snaps. Got different leagues involved there. NHL, NFL, MLB, MILB. So nice little collection there. And yeah. So that is that for that. For the show and tell portion of this video. But, you know, as usual, I like to do a little chit chat. So couple things, you know, kind of happened during the week that I noticed. The first was that Mitchell and Ness did kind of revamp their website, and I'm sure most of you have noticed it as well. It kind of has a bit of a Fanatic kind of look to it. If you know Fanatic's website, it's similar like what Mitchell and Ness did, and obviously they're owned by Fanatic, so it makes sense. Fanatics is very uniform with their sites. Whether it's Fanatics, Lids, MLB Shop, NFL Shop, NBA, they're all basically uniform. So the Mitchell and Ness site now kind of has that look to it, kind of aspect. Not exactly the same, but similar. Is it great? No. Is it an upgrade over what they had? Absolutely. And it would be hard not to have an upgrade over what they had for so long. It was such a bad site. It was like for that company to have that site for so long, it was such an oversight. So I'm glad that they made changes. I think that some of the changes will be for the better. I would hope that the stuff in the new release section isn't going to stay in the new release section for like a year. I would hope that they would constantly, you know, move on, you know, stuff that probably shouldn't be a new release to just regular, you know, areas. Particularly during sales, because as we know, when they have sales online, the new release stuff is always excluded. So hopefully they get a little better at that. I noticed, as other people did, that some stuff went disappearing from the site. I don't know why. I don't know what that means. The one thing I noticed the most was that NHL, a lot of stuff left. I haven't looked like today or this weekend, so maybe that's back. But like the blue line, none of the blue line jerseys were there. A lot of the stuff was just missing. Now, it could be that they're just trying to look, you know, go over stock, make sure they have things, you know. One of the problems with the older site, one of the many problems, is that they would have stuff on there that wasn't available. But yet, the pictures, it would be there. It was like you could click the link, but it says not available. Like, well, why is it here? If it's not available, this like defeats the purpose. And so I don't know if they're making sure they have the quantities or whatever, and then they put it back up. I have no idea. I don't work for them. I don't know, right? I'm just speaking as a consumer. But I did notice that, and the other thing that you had to do was you had to recreate an account on there, which was rather annoying because they just had the 40% off deal, and now, I don't know, I'm a creature of habit, right? When I buy something and I get that email that says your order has shipped or whatever, I keep the email in my inbox until I get the item, just in case, right? So, because with that email, usually there's a button where you can, or a link, I should say, where you can track the tracking and make, you know, see where your item is, as long as the tracking information is correct. So with that email, I was still able to do that. But the problem was, I'm sure for a lot of people, is when they revamped their site, everyone's account got deleted. So if you bought something on that 40% off online deal, you had no way of finding afterward, well, wait a minute, what's going on, right? But since I kept that email, I was still able to track the package and know, okay, it was arriving this past Friday, the 289 Phillies jerseys. So I knew it was still coming and everything was good. But it was weird. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why do we have to recreate our accounts? And all the old account history is gone. Like all your history, everything you've bought, all those years on the old site, it's all completely gone. It's like everything starts anew. So you had to recreate your, give them your email address and you redo a password, all that stuff, right? And it was like, you had to recreate, I think, a username and password. And it was like, damn, man, really? But it is what it is. I did it. I have no history on there now. So that happened. And so, that was kind of, a bit of a newsy kind of thing from this past week as far as Mitchell and Ness. They redid their website. Finally. Is it perfect? No. Is it better than it was? Yes. It's very Fanatic-y because Fanatics owns the company, so it makes sense that they were to do that. But again, it's Mitchell and Ness. Things aren't always going to be perfect. But I'm hoping, the one thing, like I said, I'm hoping is that the new release stuff doesn't stay in as long as it did, because that stinks. Like, particularly because they have this new stuff coming out. And after a month or two, hopefully it's not there, so that when the when the holidays roll around and they have all these sales, maybe we could take advantage of it and get some of those new NFL jerseys or what have you that just got released. And speaking of that, it was pretty exciting. So they put out some new authentic NFL and NBA jerseys. NBA wasn't too much. They'll probably put out more as the season gets going. But the NFL, they gave us a nice little selection, primarily of the 94 throwbacks, the 1994. So in 1994, the NFL celebrated their 75th anniversary, and every team in the league wore a throwback jersey that year. Some cases two, like a home and away in some cases. And Mitchell and Ness has done these jerseys many times before for many different teams, and for some teams they didn't. And for some of those teams where they never made an authentic, they made an authentic now, like the Steelers. They have a Rod Woodson with that just crazy Steeler design that the Steelers had from like their first year or whatever it was. That jersey they made, I believe, for Woodson and Kevin Green in the past, but it was a legacy line. Now they made the authentic for Rod Woodson, and it's crazy looking, but yeah, it's different. It is a jersey that people wanted. I myself, I might get it at some point, right, if the deal's right for it. It's a different looking jersey. It definitely, it's unique. I guess would be the word. But people have wanted an authentic because to find a vintage authentic in that is next to impossible. So for a company, they needed a company like Mitchell & Ness to make the jersey so people can get it and get it in their size they want to wear it, particularly Steeler fans, right? So they finally got around to making one in an authentic form, and it's available on the site right now, or, the flagship, I think, got it too. The ones that I was the most excited for, and I know my buddy Slim and I, we were on the phone like that night, drooling over it, was the Aeneas Williams Cardinals throwback. 94 throw. Oh boy, that you talk about unique looking jerseys. That one definitely is unique looking. Very cool design. It's got the A. Williams on the back, which I love. It's the nice little kind of crazy looking design on the front. It's got the small, the numbers. And that jersey they've never done. They've never made a legacy version. They never made an authentic version, to the best of my knowledge. That jersey, to find an actual, vintage in that is very hard. I think I remember seeing someone in the group had one once, and everyone was just going, oh my goodness, with it, right? I think, if I remember correct, I think it was even like a Seth Joyner or something like that. And it was just beautiful. Amazing jersey. So Mitchell & Ness finally got around to making one of those, Aeneas Williams. And then they made the road version for the Packers. So the Acme Packer jerseys, if you remember them from back, they just did Brett Favre. They never made a Reggie White. but now they made a Reggie White, and they made the Brett Favre Road as well. The home Brett Favre they've had for many years, it's still one I don't have in my collection that I still want to get in my collection, because it's one of the few 94 jerseys in style that I don't own. Of all the 94 jerseys, and I'm pointing over there because that's where my football stuff, of all the 94 jerseys I have for Mitchell and Ness in the past, the one I don't have is the Brett Favre, Acme Packers jersey, which I know I can get someday, because there's a bunch of them on my list on eBay right now. I'm just waiting for the proper time to strike. But that jersey they've had for many years, but they never had the road version, which is white with the yellow kind of shoulders and sleeve. So now they made it, and they also made Reggie White too. And of the two of them, I want Reggie, and I still want to get the home Favre, so I'll have the set. So that was cool, and they put out ones that they've had in the past. They did the away John Elway. They did the Chiefs. And the thing about the Chiefs is they didn't make them in the throwback Dallas Texans jerseys, which they've made before. They made the home and away Derek Thomas, Joe Montana. I know they made the home Marcus Allen, because I have it. I don't remember if they made a road version, a white version of the Marcus Allen. Maybe they did. I just misremember. But they never made the regular Chiefs jerseys. What I mean by regular is the Kansas City Chiefs jerseys, because when they wore the throwback Dallas Texans jerseys, they didn't have the red and white stripes on the sleeve cuffs. So those were basically, that was like how you could tell that's the throwback Chiefs jersey. The Chiefs jersey has really not changed that much over years, whether it's the Dallas Texans or the Kansas City Chiefs. The only thing that I think has changed was they added the stripes on the sleeve cuffs when they moved to Kansas City. But the overall look of the jersey is pretty much the same. So when Mitchell and Ness made them years ago, they made them as the Dallas Texans Kansas City Chiefs throwbacks. Now they remade him in the away white version for the Kansas City Chiefs jerseys of the 75th anniversary. So it's got the 75th patch, and it's also got the red and white sleeve cuffs, as because that's the jersey they wore the rest of the season. When they didn't do it as a throwback jersey. So that's kind of cool. And of that said, I think I would like to get the Marcus Allen, because I have Derek Thomas, I have a red Derek Thomas, and I have a white Joe Montana, and I also have the red Marcus Allen. I have three of them. I just don't have the full home and away set of all of them, but I have one of each player. I do have Marcus, but I always liked Marcus, so I think if I were to get a white version, it would be the Marcus Allen, just to kind of pair it up with the home red one. The Derek Thomas one's tempting too. Joe Montana, I already have a Joe Montana. The only difference would be the cuffs. For that, I don't know if I want to, go crazy. But Derek Thomas, perhaps, if they don't have Allen in my size. But, my first choice would be Marcus Allen. And of course, I sent them right to my buddy Anthony. He's a huge Chiefs fan. He's my buddy from Pro Image. And he was just salivating. He's like, ooh, why couldn't they have been at the store when we went? Because I went with Anthony when I went to the store for the 40th, the 40% off deal a couple weeks back. And I'm like, well, Anthony, they kind of thought of you. They didn't want you to, blow out your wallet, But that was cool. That was cool they made those. They made other stuff too. There was a few other jerseys in there. And then they did some NBA, I think it was 3 or 4 different NBA jerseys. They did a LeBron Finals, the home white Cavs, which is probably the one I think I like the best out of the newer set they put out of stuff for the NBA. That was pretty much the big news over the past few weeks with Mitchell and Ness. The other thing that I noticed when I was out and about over the past couple weeks is that it seems like the days are getting kind of short for a rally house. 2 of the bigger locations are no longer a thing. The King of Prussia Mall, the rally house is gone. It's now some other store. It's a Lids owned store. I forget the name of it. It's Fans in the name, I think. It's it is run by Lids. So if you're like me, if you're a Lids MVP member, you get a percent off. Although they they didn't seem to understand or whatever it was. So I got a Eagles shirt, and even if you get like if you get at Lids, if you go to like Lids locker room and where they have like jerseys and shirts and stuff, they don't just have hats there, but you get like a percent off. If you're an MVP member, you get a percent off for anything you buy. So this store didn't have Lids as the name, but it was owned by Lids, so it's owned by Fanatics too. But since it's owned by Lids, you should be getting a percent off. And I didn't get the percent off. It's like I got like a Kelly Green, throwback looking Eagle shirt, and it was only a difference of like a couple bucks, so I didn't like fight it. But they should have honored the my MVP, and they were just opening. I mean, they were probably just it was probably just still chaotic. So who knows, um, but that took the place of the Rally House that was in the King of Prussia Mall. And then when I went out yesterday to get this Eagles hat for the Vet Stadium tribute hat, um, at Philadelphia Premium Outlets, there was a Rally House there, a rather large one, and it was gone. It was something else. It became something else. Now, I've always said this about Rally House is the one thing I never quite understood about Rally House, and I liked Rally House, because like you would go in there and they would just have like endless apparel for your home local teams, right? So for us, it would be the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers, the Sixers, and then they have collegiate stuff as well. And it was, just tons of stuff. If you couldn't find a shirt in there, you weren't going to find it. Sometimes when you went in there, it was not the most organized, and I think that was part of the issue. But I think as time went on, they got a little better about it. And some of the rally houses I went to were just very nice. There's one, if it's still there, it's not too far from me. And, just tons of stuff. I mean, it's like an indoor Fanatics, It's just like you go in there and it's just racks and racks and all these things of shirts and jackets and jerseys and hats and tchotchkes and they have it all separated by sections. Like this section is the Eagles section, that section is the Phillies section, right? It's a treat to go in and look around. It is. But my one issue with them over the years has always been they don't have sales. They never have sales. Maybe they would have every now and then like a sale rack or 2 sale racks or something. But even that wasn't a great amount of stuff, right? In fact, that kind of started going away. Like they had it, and then over time, you wouldn't even see a sale rack anymore, which was crazy to think about, right? How are you moving merchandise that doesn't sell? And they so that was my one complaint because, listen, whether you like or hate Fanatics, the one thing about Fanatics that has been consistent since the dawn of Fanatics is they have sales all the time. Every week. Every few days, they're going to rotate these sales. Maybe it's free shipping. Maybe it's 20% off, 25% off, up to 80% off, 90%, whatever they do, right? All these different sales. Every day, there's a different sale on Fanatics. Fanatics bought Lids. It's pretty much the same deal with the Lids site. It's sales, it's free shipping, it's, they give you stuff. And with Lids, like you have the MVP membership, so you get percent off in store, right? It's not a lot, but every little bit helps, anytime you can save some money buying some stuff, it's still a good thing, So they would give you opportunities upon opportunities upon opportunities to buy stuff. And, look, they're not dumb. They know if they don't have sales and stuff, they're going to be sitting on stuff. They want to move stuff, right? So they have to entice you to keep wanting to buy. So they're going to give you all these sales. They're going to give you all these opportunities to get stuff. And since they bought Mitchell and Ness has a lot more sales, right, on their website and also at the flagship. The flagship's doing a sale like every month. There's some sort of, maybe sometimes multiple different sales throughout the month. You know, you just have to follow them on their social media outlets to know when they're going to do it, right? So they're giving you chances, right? They give you chances to get merchandise. Now there's exclusions, right? Jordan, Kobe, Jackie Robinson, Mickey Mantle, Jim Brown, Ken Griffey Jr. now. Like, there's some exclusions, and of course on the website it's the new release stuff. I get that, but still there's more than enough stuff whenever they have sales that you can catch deals with, right? I mean, I just did. I got 3 jerseys on sale, 40% off each. So it allowed me to get some stuff, right? So that was always my biggest complaint about Rally House. They don't have sales. You go in that sale on Black Friday, no sales, nothing. It's just regular price everything, where I can go to Lids and maybe they're giving me a BOGO. You know, maybe they're doing something different. You know, they're doing like you know, certain percent off or whatever. I can go to Mitchell and Ness and they're doing 35% off or whatever it is, right? I go to the Philly shop, they're doing like 40 or 50% off right that day, right? It's a big sale time. You go to Rally House, nothing. Not one thing is on sale at the whole store on like the biggest sale day of the year. It made no sense. It never made sense to me that this company, and if their philosophy is we don't have sales, and you're in the retail business where you have to move merchandise to make room for more merchandise. That's why Fanatics is doing all these deals, because they have to make room in their you know, in their warehouses for new merch. You know, particularly this time of year, because you got the NBA season's about to ramp up, the NHL season's about to ramp up, the NFL season's about to ramp up, baseball's about to get to the playoff stretch, right? At the college football's about to start, and that's a big thing, right? There's a lot of merchandise for that, so they have to move stuff, you know? And even after that, okay, well, then you flip the calendar. Okay, now you're going to get where, okay, now the playoffs are going to start up. Now you're going to have, you know, the spring starting up. You have, you know, the baseball season coming. You have all this merchandise for that coming. So these companies have to move stuff, you know, to make room for new merchandise. It's a never-ending cycle. And even within the season, new product comes out because the seasons change, right? You go from fall to winter. So then you get all the winter stuff, the winter hats, the winter jackets, the longer sleeve, the heavier clothing, right? And then you go from that to the spring and the summer, the fall, and then the winter again. So there's rotations of all these different clothing and all. Like right now, I'm wearing a tank top, and in a few weeks, I'm going to be wearing like a, you know, shirt, but also, you know, a few weeks after that would be like the long sleeve apparel, right? Because now you get into the fall, it gets a little more crisp, it's cooler. So, right, the attire changes throughout the year. So these companies have to keep making room for the new stuff. So that's why you got to move product. And if you're just sitting on a bunch of stuff that isn't selling, where are you putting the new product that you get in? It's tough. You know, I couldn't work retail, personally. As much as I love it, and I love getting these hats and jerseys and team apparel, right? I love it, but I couldn't work in it. It's a whole nother world, you know? But that was my biggest gripe with Rally House. As great as you would walk in there, and it was just incredible, the amount of stuff, but they never had sales. And it was hard for me to go in there and say, oh, okay, I'll just buy it, you know, whatever, even if it was like a t-shirt, you know, okay, well, I can get this shirt. Yeah, it you know, the prices of shirts are anywhere between $28, and in some cases, depending on the shirt, sometimes upwards of $45, you know, and somewhere in that price range. And that's tough. You know, that's tough to, you know, go and spend when I can look on Fanatics and I can see, oh, well, the same kind of Philly shirt is on there and they're doing a 25% off deal. All right, I have to pay some shipping, but I'm still getting the shirt a little cheaper. It's just easier for me to get it on Fanatics, catch a deal, and get it in. Or for hat-wise, get it at Lids where I know I can get a discount. You know, I get my whatever percent off for being an MVP member. I can go to the store. I can go, you know, and they send you a code every month on your email, and this code is good for the whole year, for the whole month, to get whatever percent off it is, 20, 25%, whatever it is. But at least it's something. You know, now I'd rather get my stuff in the store so I don't have to pay the shipping. But with Fanatics, they run a lot of free shipping deals, you know. And I have other things too, like with my Discover card, I get 5% cash back by some months it's groceries, some months it's gas, or whatever. So then that kind of adds up, and I can put that towards something. Or if I get a gift card, or whatever. So there's different things that I could do to kind of stack stuff so I can get stuff online, and even if I'm paying a little for shipping, I can kind of deal with it. It's a shame in a way because I did like Rally House. I thought that there was some benefits with it, but the biggest problem to me is just the lack of sales. And it never made a lot of sense to me. If you're a store that has a lot of Fanatics product, and I don't know if they're run by Fanatics, I would say no, because if they were run by Fanatics, they would have sales a lot. Because every Fanatics company has sales. Mitchell & Ness has sales. Liz has sales. Right? Fanatics. Anything under the Fanatics umbrella, you're going to catch sales. Rally House never did it. And in-store and online. And it never made any sense to me. In a way, kind of Dick's is like that too, Dick's Sporting Goods. You go in there and they never seem to run any kind of deals, and they have a lot of good stuff. I mean, if you're a member of their, I guess over time you get points and it builds up and then you get like a $10 off thing or whatever in the mail. But, even them, they don't really believe in a lot of sales. As far as the team merchandise go, they do sales for like golf equipment and, workout stuff and team whatever bats or whatever, actual like equipment, for sports. But the team apparel stuff, it's very hit or miss what they're going to put on sale. A lot of times they don't, so you kind of have to wait till they're doing like a store-wide thing or something. And even that's getting kind of few and far between. Maybe we need Fanatics to buy Dick's Sporting Goods too. Maybe that's what needs to happen. But you can still find some kind of unique stuff in there. I was in there, one of the local ones the other day. I saw a Savannah Bananas jersey. And it's like, where am I going to find, besides online, a Savannah Bananas jersey here? It was sitting there at a Dick's Sporting Goods. I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't get it, by the way, but I thought it was still kind of neat to see one. It was a nice-looking jersey. But I didn't pick it up because it wasn't on sale. So, and I have some like gift cards or whatever I could use, but it is what it is. That's neither here nor there. But so the fact that Rally House has been closing some locations, I would consider some of the bigger locations in the area, it's not a big surprise to me, just because I don't understand their philosophy of just no sales. That to me, it's certainly a recipe for disaster. Particularly with a brick and mortar. Just trying to put a football game on the brick and mortar store, an industry, right, and a rather big one like Rally House. To not do that when you're competing, against online deals, against Fanatics, let's say, for instance, and they're running sales all the time and you're not. So where are consumers going to look? They're going to look to where they can get the deal, and you're just going to be sitting there. And again, I feel bad in a way because I like going there. I like going there and looking around, but I'm like prime example, right? I mean, look at all the stuff that I get. And at the amount of times that I would go into a Rally House and come out of Rally House not holding a bag. I mean, that just shows it right there. How many times do I go into Lids and I don't walk out of Lids without holding a bag? How many times do I go to any of the other stores that I like to frequent and I come out of there not holding a bag? Now, do I come out of the store every time holding a bag? No. When I go to Mitchell & Ness, when I go to the flagship, I've gone there plenty of times and come out not holding a Mitchell & Ness bag in my hand, right? Sometimes I just like to go and look and like see the stuff with my eyes and feel the material and, okay, this is like, okay, yeah, I like this, or yeah, maybe I don't need this right now, that type of thing, right? But still, they get my money, right? Lids certainly gets my money. Pro Image gets my money, right? And they don't have a lot of sales either. Like Pro Image is another one that they don't do a lot of deals, but they do have sale racks. And there is, at least for their stuff, the Eagles vet hat, that's a Pro Image exclusive, and there is a I think it's like a 10% or whatever coupon if you use the name Pancake in store. That's Pancake Steel. You get like 10% off of the hat, but it's only for the Pro Image exclusives. Like you couldn't go in there. I couldn't go in there and buy this for 10% off at Pro Image, But I did that for the Eagles. I did it for the Fanatic, stuff. If it's their stuff, you can get a little discount by asking for the Pancake discount. But normally their stuff, I mean, they don't have a lot of sales either. So that's another one of those companies that's like, as much as I like them, and I'm good friends with Anthony, but they don't run a lot of deals. Now, I will say this: they do more deals than Rally House does. They put more on sale than Rally House did. And I think ultimately, at the end of the day, if Rally House goes under, that was their doing. That was their end doing, is not doing deals. In a time, in an era where you need to do deals. If you're going to compete with online business and you're a brick and mortar store, you got to have sales. You got to entice people as much as you can for them to come in and buy your merchandise. It just seems that some of these stores don't understand that, and then the next thing you know, they're gone. And in a way, like I said, I feel bad, even though it's their own doing. It's, I mean, what can you do? The old saying is they did it to themselves, and that's what it is. In this day and age, you're not going to run enough deals, whereas other places do. Now, I'm always one that I do enjoy the brick and mortar stores. I enjoy my times, as you all know, going to the malls and going to stores. I'd rather do that because you can see the product, you can try the product on, you can see, really get a good look at it, see if it really is something for you or not, right? Particularly with these hats. The way hats fit anymore, it's like you really have to try them on. And I'd much rather do that in a brick and mortar store than online, whereas you're basically going into it blind, right? You're just buying something that has a picture. You don't know exactly how it's going to feel, how it's going to look, and whatnot. But and God knows I do it a lot. But I would rather buy in store. But some of these stores are very stingy. They don't seem to understand the benefit of the deal. To have sales, throw a 25% off deal, throw something, give me more reason to come in, and I'm different than a lot of consumers because I'm a collector. So sometimes I get stuff without the deal. It's just, I'm not like going to say, oh, I need a sale. Every time I buy something, it's on sale. Because I've certainly bought stuff that's not on sale. If I like something enough, I'm going to get it. But I'd rather there be a deal. And if I'm going to, continually shop, I like to have a little something, I like to be tossed a bone every once in a while, Rally House never did that. I could say Pro Image did it. I could say Mitchell & Ness does it. I could say Lids does it. I could say some of these other places, they do it, Fanatics. I don't get that at some of these other places, so I don't spend as much as some of these other places, Again, I don't need the deal, but it's nice to have. It is. Anyhow, that was my kind of observation over the past few weeks. The Mitchell & Ness website changing a bit, more of a kind of Fanatic-y look to it, which makes sense because they're in the Fanatics umbrella. And the Rally House is starting to close. At least two of the bigger ones are gone in this area. And I wonder if it's only a matter of time before. And I know I just got an email that they're just opening up another one not too far from here. But the closures of some of the bigger ones kind of makes me wonder, is it a company that really is just going to get swallowed up and go under, or is Fanatics going to buy it and they change the way they do things, they have more sales, and it keeps them going for a while. And I would rather that, believe me. I'm not trying to hate on Rally House, believe me. I want that type of place to succeed because they sell stuff that I love. But I would like to get a deal, here and there. So if Fanatics bought them and they, all of a sudden now they're starting to do 25% off, here, come in, here's 25% off or whatever. I mean, it would make it easier, to pick up their merchandise. Anyhow, that's just my opinion. That's going to do it for now. I've gone on here for about an hour. I thank you all for joining in as always. What do you always got to do? You got to leave those likes, like. You got to subscribe. You haven't already done so. Remember, we're trying to get to 2K here on the channel subscribers by December 31st, 2024. So continued success, support with that would be much appreciated. And make sure you hit the bell icon so you're constantly notified to all content from yours truly going forward. I will have more content as we go on. I do still have to do these, collection vids and, other stuff too. So, keep an eye out. There will be more content coming your way. But thank you, as always, for all the support. And this is MightyFan signing off for now. We went exactly an hour and 10 seconds. So we're gonna close now. But you all take care, and I will see you in the next one. All right, everyone.